I'm so happy to welcome you all to the Open Dialogue podcast. Today we have our first guest, Tabitha Nseka.
Yes.
Did I say it right?
Yes, you did. Well done.
Thanks. Yeah. So today we're going to, first I'll just say Tabitha is a mother,
Yes.
a wife,
Yes.
a sister.
Mm-hmm.
Above all, she's an author.
Yes.
Yeah. So today we're going to explore Tabitha's journey.
Yes.
And learn about her book, Grace to Run Your Own Race, Pressing On Towards the Goal. So you can share with us, if you can introduce yourself and tell us more about the book.
Okay. Thank you for having me today. I really appreciate it. You know, it's nice to just sit there and share an experience. Yes, I'm Tabitha. I'm a wife to one husband and then 5 children.
Wow.
Yes. The Grace to Run Your Own Race was more as an introduction for people to get to know me, how I do my things. I'm a woman of faith.
Yeah.
And I believe where there is faith, I call it determination, there is a way.
True.
Yes, so the Grace to Run Your Own Race is more on my personal experience, things that I went through, how I overcome them, and then I thought if I put them into writing, it's going to help someone in need out there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I did get the copy on your launch day.
Yes.
Still have it.
Great.
I've gone through. I'll be honest, I didn't finish the whole pages, but I will.
Yeah, that's
I will.
fine. No
I will.
problem. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you say talking about your life journey, your experiences is what inspired you to write the book.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you tell us a specific moment that, or maybe a chapter, the chapter that you have something in it?
In all chapters, you're going to find something. But I'm going to talk about a story that I put in that book. It was when my husband had an accident. You know, being married for many years, we tend to neglect few things as husband and wife. I had a dream. In my dream, I had a dream and my husband died in that dream. And then in my dream, I scream, you know, out of my sleep. And I look at him, I'm like, what a dream. And then when I screamed, he also got up. And I told him the dream I had. He told me, no, it's just a dream. I said, no, it's not just a dream. Because, you know, it's easier
real.
when it actually felt real. It's easier when you have a dream and then you pray about it, because when that dream becomes a reality, you cannot change the situation. So I told him we were gonna fast and then pray about it. He didn't expect what was gonna happen. We started fasting. I was actually mourning my husband alive.
Oh my God.
Him seeing me every day, he was like, Tabitha, will you stop with that? You know, after a month. And then I told him, I think if there is someone to stop, it's him who was supposed to stop. But I will continue because I experienced that in my dream.
Yeah.
And the day that dream came to reality, when my husband had an accident, he was leaving in the morning. Living in the house, I felt like I was disconnecting away from him. I cannot explain that. He was actually going like,
feeling,
you know.
then
Then I told him, I don't know what is going on. I feel like you're just disconnecting from me. I can't, you're going far away from me. Then he goes, how come? I said, I can't explain it, but I don't want you to drive today. Can you order a taxi and then go wherever you want to go? he ordered a taxi, went. And then when he came back, we had a business. We used to run a transport and tourism business. We had a client that called, and he could not, even listen to a minute of me talking.
He didn't believe
He
what
went
you were
into the car, and I was like, you know when you talk and someone is already starting the car.
Yeah.
And then he left. I went back into my room. I was praying. He went drop the client, but he didn't get back home.
Oh.
He had an accident coming home.
Oh my God.
Oh my. I was sitting, and then they called me and say he had an accident. You know, when they call you, the dream actually came,
Came to real.
to reality. And
Yeah.
I'm like, so what next? The fear of what next.
Yeah.
But I'm glad really we fasted and prayed, because the strength I got after that accident, even myself, I cannot explain it. I was sitting with a cousin. I told her I'm actually coming. I didn't tell her. I didn't panic that my husband had an accident. I was actually prepared, I went to that place, find him on the floor. Oh my gosh, the police were all over. And then I got there, found him. He just looked at me like that and went into a coma. We picked him, ran to the hospital. When we got to the hospital, I was telling God, I said, I cannot be called a widow with 2 children in a foreign country. We were in South Africa then. And I said, will you reveal to me? I prayed about it. And today that you allowed this to happen, I give all the glory to you. And we got to the hospital. They look at him and say, oh my gosh, they were gonna amputate the leg. And they had to send us to Pretoria Academy. When we went with my husband to Pretoria Academy, was to amputate the leg. And me, oh my gosh, sitting in that ambulance going to Pretoria Academy, imagining
what is Pretoria Academy?
It's a hospital in Johannesburg, like where they do all this operation for the bones and all that. Going through that place, in the camp, sitting there, I'm like, imagine having a husband with 1 leg. What's gonna happen? And then I told God, I say, I remember there is a place, I do read the Bible. In the Bible it says, a woman will have pain when pushing a baby. But the husband is going to be the provider of the house. So I told God, if you allow him to be amputated, that means he's going to provide for me well in the house. I know my own punishment was to push babies. And I told God, I said, I will push as many children as I have to. If I have to push.
This is touching. This is so emotional.
Oh, that day we went to Pretoria Academy. They took my husband in for 7 hours. 7 hours I stood in front of that hospital. He had an accident on Thursday, Adelaide. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I didn't sit or sleep.
Did they
or watch
let you know
myself.
what was happening during
No
that
one
day?
was talking to me. They were just running up and running down, and you don't even know who to ask. And I was just praying. I was just praying when he was in that operation. And the doctor came asking me, I've been seeing you standing here for 4 days. And he called the nurse and said, will you ask this woman to leave? She's gonna collapse here. And I said, I'm not going anywhere.
In 4 days you didn't go home?
I didn't wash myself or brush or eat or do anything. I was just waiting to see what
And
next.
praying.
I was just praying. And when he came, he told me that he said I was lucky. That's how he went. You are lucky. Your husband is not going to be amputated. They found a vein that, cut was not a main vein. There was a way to fix that leg.
Yeah.
I left that place, with hope. Went back home, then have my shower and sleep, and I say, I've won the war.
But you are really a prayer warrior.
It was
Yeah,
really
so
an
it's coming,
experience.
it happened, And you continued praying and
Yes.
you believed.
And I believed.
And God answered.
And God answered. And I still have my husband today, although he's limping a bit, but he's better than the dead.
Limping is
person.
just a small thing from what you're telling us
Yes. So that
Yeah.
was what I call grace.
now. Yeah.
Yes.
I get it.
Yes.
This is so touching.
Thank
we've
you.
We've talked, but we've never gone into it so deep like this.
No.
No.
It's when I started writing that book, I was like, what parts of my life I'm going to share? So I thought I would share my faith side of life, you know? That's why I'm writing down now.
We have to get this book and we read it ourselves
Yes.
and hear the story and more inside.
There is more. There is
Yeah.
different stories that
Yeah.
is going to help people outside there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh God, I wish I was strong in prayer like you and so much believer like you.
You know, life is a choice, I believe. You know, like there is certain situation you can see it's ups and down, and there is nothing you can do. When you're up, you're up. When you're down, you're down. So the choice that we make, and it's only faith that carries us in every circumstance. You know, either the low time or the upper time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now. This is more. I feel like you've said more like for this, like it's a lot.
It is a lot to digest actually.
You are a very strong woman.
Thank you.
So we go on.
Yes.
So your bio mentions that you are not just an author, but also working woman, a mother and wife. How do you do the different roles and making everything meaningful and authentic?
Yes, it may look authentic, but we do miss out sometime, you know.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, it's a difficult thing, you know, to manage both, because when you're a mother, you're a working person, and you know, to really give the best of all is very difficult.
It is, especially in this country. You have to do everything. The father is at work, you're
Yes.
at work, and
Yes.
it is.
At home is different. You can have a helper, you know, you
Yeah.
have family members, but in this country it's very difficult. I learned to ignore certain things. Whatever I'm not able to give 100%, let's say cleaning the house.
Yeah.
I get home from work, I'm tired. If I don't want to clean the house, I will leave it.
Most of us. You know, sometimes I ask myself, back home we used to wake up early in the morning, you sweep the yard, compound,
Yes.
some they say, you clean the house, each and every
Every
room, you turn it upside down, you push the couches, you do everything.
Yes.
But because we're very busy here, you hardly
It's
do all
not
that.
easy. It's
Yeah.
actually not easy, but it's good that, you know, having grown-up children, you know, my husband had learned to step in, because at home men are not really into cleaning
Yes,
or
yes,
kitchen.
yes.
Men are like, I don't know, kings.
Yeah.
You know, so when you were a wife, you did to serve him. You know, I remember at home he would come, he want a glass of water, you know, you sit in the room. Tabitha!
I know.
It was older, you're like,
I
you know.
it's all African culture, like, yeah.
And to bring water, for me it was very, you know, coming to this country, I will tell you in passing. I was working. I went to work and come. I was so busy the whole week. They were just changing clothes and piling them for me. The clothes were almost finished. I remember on a Saturday I got home and they're telling me there will be no clothes to wear tomorrow. And I'm like, what? And then what's gonna happen after that? That I need from work, I actually need to take those clothes and go wash them. I remember that day I just burst into tears.
Oh my God.
I was in tears, and my
Too
husband
much.
did not really understand why was I in tears, because it's a wife role actually from home to be covering all that. Then I said, I think we need a family meeting. Then we sat down. I told him, I'm not a robot. Yeah, you see, I can't go to work, come home, and then do all this. We're not washing with hand. We have a machine.
No, just throwing in the machine.
You throw in the machine, you switch it on, and he didn't know how to turn on the machine. And I thought, you know what, I'm fighting a battle that, you know, someone does not know really. So we had to sit down. I told him, I said, I think we're going to start in small steps. This is how they switch on the machine. That's how they switch on the microwave. And this is what
this is your
do.
husband now.
My husband. I had to start with my husband because my boys never saw my husband in the kitchen.
Yes, yeah.
So I could not start there.
With them, yeah.
If, you know, we had to teach as a role models.
Exactly.
I believe that, you know, the children replicate what we give them.
Yeah.
For
To
another
be
day.
honest, in these countries, this is what we have to do: help each other anywhere we can.
We like a team.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
We work as a team, otherwise we will not survive.
Yeah. Very true.
But thank God it's
So
stepping in.
the kids also now can do.
Yes, now children are helping. My first son is really a blessing. He's like a leader in the house, really. He kind of completes things that I'm not able to do in the house. So he's very good in putting a routine down. So they all actually stepping in, and that make it easier. I cannot do it without them, you know. They kind of complete me in a way.
That was a good one. Yeah.
Yes.
Having them to do the duties as well.
Yes.
Otherwise, oh my God,
It's not
it's
easy.
too much.
It's not. Yeah.
It's not. Yeah. So the next one here is. I think we've gone through it. It was how was your experiences as a parent changed over the years, and does it influence your writing?
Not really, because writing for me is my self time.
Yeah.
Like, you know, as a wife, I've realized, you know, when you get married, you tend to forget yourself as a human being.
Yeah.
Is to impress your husband, to impress your children, everyone around you.
That's how we were
raised, but I got to a point that I think in life you need time for yourself.
Yeah.
Today and tomorrow, I've seen children that are grown without a mother, you know, but they still find their ways. A husband can lose a wife and marry another wife.
Yeah.
So while I'm still in this, you know, like earth, as a wife, as a mother, I think I need my time too, as a human being. So I create my time.
I just control myself in laughing that time when you received a call from, was it your son?
Yes.
When you were telling them that no, I'm not home.
No.
Manage them.
They have to learn to manage themselves. I think that's what we need to coach them into.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've disconnected myself. As a parent to children, when they are young, it was different. Now they are grown up, it's a different experience. Is you know, you sit there and wonder, are they my children? You know, they become different personalities that they can speak out for themselves.
Yeah.
Yes, they're still respectful. I'm grateful for that. But I've learned that you need to disconnect a bit. Otherwise, if you're too much in there, it's going to be too much, because they get to a point they're going to choose, you know, where they have to move on into their own life, having their own wives and children. Now, as a mother, if you don't know how to create that, you know, boundary and create that space, you start having problems with your in-laws, you know. But that I've learned, when the children are now adults, the relationship is different. We push back with my husband, and then we let them come to us when they need us. We have showed them the way.
They have to choose what they want to do, what they want
us to help them with. And when they come, I have different experience that
with each one of them.
With each one of them. You know, like when they come, you just speak out like you're the answer. And then you end up in trouble. speaking, to your own children, and then you're like, well, was that wisdom? No. I think I have to think of things, when they come with question. Now I tell them, give me time to think about it. I'll come back to you.
And they are very smart as well.
Very smart. They actually come with answers.
Exactly.
But they trick you, to get those answers, because now, how do you step in? How do you start with this? How do you...
So it's better, your idea.
Creating space.
I'm copying that. Let them know that, give me time. I heard what you said. I'll come back to you.
That's it. That helps a lot. It also it helps you to keep the relationship.
I like it, the way you raise your kids.
Thank you.
So my next question is, noticing your determined spirit. I see you are a go-getter. I know you.
Yes.
I know you. Can you share a story from a life that embodies the go-getter essence and how it reflects in your writing?
Yes.
Or in general life, not only in writing,
Yes. I'm a firstborn in my family.
Same as me.
And my father was a polygamous.
Okay.
He left in the morning to go, for a project, and he was killed while gone to that project. I was married with 2 children, and imagine now the responsibility, because all of them were in school. The responsibility now as a wife, a mother, and your siblings. Oh,
how old were you at that age?
I was 25.
Already
when
married.
my dad, I was married. I got married early. I was 22, and then got married and had children. So I had 2 children when my dad passed, and I was married into a family where, when your husband marry you, your finance is your husband's decision. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So when they marry you, your salary goes to your husband, and your husband will tell you what to do with it.
Really?
Yes. If it doesn't say anything, you take it. That means you're not having anything, and you can fight.
Yeah.
Out of it. I was like that for years, until I had to find my way on how to manage. I had to really find a way to be spending without letting my husband know that this is going to my family side. Yeah. It's called wisdom.
Yeah.
Because you see, I think you learn this thing, in a relationship. For me, it was an open conversation, but when I went with my request, it was rejected. So now, rejected with all these responsibilities, I was not gonna just leave it.
We had to decide.
I had to find my ways, That's when I started doing hair, by the way.
Okay.
And the money for hair will go for my siblings, paying school fees.
Yeah.
And then, but it was not an easy...
That's why I say I got it.
It was not an easy journey. For me, I needed a name for my family.
Yeah.
I could not just, stop looking after them because of marriage. Yeah. There was no room, in marriage. I had to fight. Yeah. So I like my father, he used to tell me, as a woman, you'll not achieve so much, like as a boy. But if you understand with wisdom, you understand your ways, you will actually find your ways. I didn't understand that until he died. Then I noticed the limitation, the challenge, and fighting those challenges and making a way for my family was what I wrote in the second book. Glorious Destiny is a book to read.
What's the name of it?
Glorious Destiny. Unbearable Pain. Yes.
Wow, you should get that one.
That one.
I thought that one was, you wrote it in French.
No,
That's
it's
why
in
I didn't
English.
look it. Oh, right.
It's
So
also
you have
in
the
English.
copies as well.
Both my book are in English and in French. Yes.
All right, okay.
Yeah. So you give because of who you are, not because of being forced. I'm a giver by nature, and seeing people struggling was not really my aim. But I'm grateful that I found my ways, and that way created problems, with my husband when he found out that I actually took money behind his back to help my family. It was a big thing, big thing. And my family too, could not manage that. There was conflict between the two, my husband and my family.
And it's not fair, they took you to school, you're doing this, you're doing that, but you have to ask for permission to help them. I know it's culture.
It's the culture, yeah.
I know it's our culture, I understand, but...
Yeah. But you see, for me, from where I come from, my dad will work, my mom will work. They used to put money together, sort out the house problem, and then share now pocket money. In each other pocket money,
then you decide what you do with your own.
Yeah, but on my husband's side, he was an orphan, and he didn't grow with both parents because they died at the earlier stage of his life. So, he managed that finance for a long time. To step in and balance it was not an easy thing.
Yeah.
He's a good man with so much qualities, but that department.
But at least you...
I had to fight for my independence.
You did good.
So I managed. And the peace is there, and we're still married, and I'm glad that he forgive.
Yes.
And we move on, and he understood.
That was then,
but he understood that I think a woman money is not a family money.
Yeah.
It helps in the family, but it's not money that a man will sit and plan
on that. Yeah.
No. Yeah. I think that he had to learn over the years.
Things yes. But at least finally got to understand and give you
my independence.
Yeah.
I fought for my independence, and I got it. Thank God. Now we got to an extent that we bring money in and we do expenses and we give each other pocket money.
That's the way to go,
it brought peace.
Yeah, I'm glad it got sorted. Yeah.
Yes.
So I say home is where the heart is.
Yes.
Relocating to a big deal. Relocating is a big deal.
Yes.
How has the locations you've lived affected you? Or is there specific settings that inspires you more than others? Like the places you've lived?
Yes.
You mentioned South Africa,
Congo, now Ireland. You see what I love? Home is where you settle, isn't it? I would say home is now Ireland.
True.
But the thing I like about Ireland was women were very independent. They have a voice.
Yeah.
Finding that voice is something really I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to bring that voice home. That's why I'm writing to kind of bring that voice and teach other people that there is a different way to do this thing.
Yeah.
And home is, when you're married, a man is the chief, and I still respect that. Even here, I still treat my husband as my king. But
also you have to have your voice.
Yes, a voice is very important. We didn't have a voice at home. It's the husband who knows it all. But when you sit and compare, you realize he's only a human being. He doesn't know it all. You see,
it's funny. There's this saying. They say, the husband is the head.
Yes.
He can be the head, but he can't be the head without a neck. The wife is the neck, which controls the head.
That makes sense. Yeah, you can't have both. If you have two eggs, you'll be a monster, isn't it? I still believe in a man as a head of a family, and I believe strongly into that. Yeah. But there is few things that we need to create boundaries. Like in sharing. I've seen women have lost it actually. In this place,
some they take advantage of
things. They take advantage. But what I do is I balance things from where we come from. to what we find in this place, to keep the peace in the house. Yeah?
At the end of the day, you have to know where you come from
Yes.
and who you are.
We're not Irish, we're African, and how we do things in Africa. Yes, in Ireland we have learned new things, but how can the new thing balance what we have?
Exactly.
Just to bring a
Find
breeze.
a balance.
Yes, we don't want to break the foundation anyway.
Yeah. So, being our first podcast guest, we're eager to hear about what's next for you in your writing. Can you share a hint or plans for upcoming projects or themes you're eager to explore, if you can?
That's a good one. I think writing will be a way to send messages out there. Reading kind of open your mind. We found out we're so busy we don't have time to read, but there is a way we can read now. There is audiobooks. I have books that I switch on my car, that book will be running, because for you to learn, for us to be at where we are now, is because we compare where we came from. What we saw was normal, it's no longer normal. You understand? How do you bring that balance? Like children, where we come from, we will hit children, but we don't hit children this side. How do you talk to bring out the message, and how do you bring that balance, you see? So I think in the planning will be maybe having more gathering together, especially as not only the African, it can be the mixed, and we learn from each other to empower families, because I believe when you have a strong family, you have a strong community. So if we empower each other, is a real struggle.
Very true,
Like we still have men who ask women to have permission to be online. And they need that marital
space, that's time
is something that needs to be just eradicate, bring it, and then bring an understanding, and how do we do it. So those are things I'm looking into.
That would be a very good thing. Like most people are very isolated,
and lonely.
Like, see where we are.
Yes.
It's few of us from our community. But if you have something like that, it will help people who are so isolated, who are so, this country has a lot. Like,
it's so stressful sometimes, and so lonely in a way that you run for work, children, and that's your life.
We are always on our toes.
Yes.
Busy. No time for ourselves.
No. And you need time for yourself. I think that's something we also learn as husband and wife. We need time for ourselves, because these children, they grow and they go. What type of retirement do you have? You'll be strangers.
I saw something you posted. Like you'll be left with your husband and you
don't know what to talk. You are strangers. Like, you see, we going on a date. Like, we plan few dates. First date we went to with my husband, we didn't have a topic. We got to a date, we were talking about plans, finance, and children. I'm like, we're on a date.
This is just the two
Then he said, what do you mean? What do you want us to talk about? I said, I want us to talk about us. Where are we? And would you please? That was. I'm telling you, we struggled for our first 5 dates. Until we come back home. I'm like, why don't we plan this date? So when we go on a date, we don't talk money, we don't talk children, we talk us. And we went on the 5th date, we could not talk. We decided to look at each other, like, in the eyes. And we should tell each other, what do you see in me, or what do I see in you? When we look at each other, we were shy to face each other. Husband and wife.
How many years?
I'm telling you, we together for many years. And they started smiling.
Believe me, it won't be only you. Probably when we try also, it will be the same.
It was funny, but we laughed about it.
Yeah.
And then we started talking. with eyes. With my husband in public, we communicate and people don't understand what he's saying. So that looking into the eyes turn into something very interesting.
Yeah.
That, I enjoy that at the moment. And when we go on date, we actually grew as we go. Now we enjoy more. We
I see you guys when you dress up and going out. I see you.
Yes, we go for a new thing. We kind of strive of,
That's
just
very
a new.
good.
We feel like teenage now.
That's very good. I know that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Tabitha, thank you so much. Your story is so inspiring.
Thank you.
And we appreciate the wisdom you shared today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, honestly, your journey is so amazing. And we learn a lot. And from these books, I know most of us, we can relate somewhere, somehow, from the stories you're sharing. From what I've read also, there's a lot that you talked about that is so, like, we learn a lot. I can't wait to get the other copy. I'll finish this after
that's
this.
fine.
I will.
Thank you for having me, really. This is very encouraging. You should keep doing more.
Yeah.
And this is the only way. I think online is the way people connect now.
Yeah.
Even finding friends now is online. So I think having this type of ideas is things that out there we really need to encourage. That's how we learn from each other.
Yeah.
Well done, Adelaide.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I believe me, the nails and everything.
Yes, that's fine. All the hustle. But we'll have more.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So to our listeners, please, I hope you enjoyed the episode. You can share your comments on the comment section. And from me, your host, Adelaide, it's a bye for now. And continue running your own race until you reach your goal.
Yes, true. True.
Bye for now.